Hi, I'm Jasmine, career consultant, influencer, inclusive leader, mentor, connector, advocate, author, and entrepreneur. But most importantly, I'm a Black woman navigating the journey of seeking purpose, hoping to positively impact others along the way. I started this podcast wanting to turn the aha moments from my book, Seeking Purpose, and bring those conversations to life. So, by facilitating meaningful conversations, listening to diverse perspectives, I hope to empower and inspire others along the way as they're navigating their journey of seeking purpose. So, welcome to season 2, episode 1 of the Seeking Purpose podcast. Season 1 was all about trying new things and doing it scared anyway. It was following through on an idea that just wouldn't go away and filled with so many aha moments and great conversations with amazing guests, but most of all, it was an opportunity to connect, and I'm excited to be back with a new season. This episode is called Don't Be Afraid to Start Again. And that theme is so fitting for where I am right now in life and where I hope Jasmine's Guide to Life goes in the future. So, after prototyping and testing things out, I'm excited for this new direction. And instead of rebranding, I'm going to say I'm refining Jasmine's Guide to Life, and this is just the beginning. We're also in a new location, producing a better product, and I can't wait to see what's to come. Uh, Three words I'd say is invest in yourself. The people will come, the resources will come, the investment is worth it. Make the sacrifice and just do it. So we're about to unpack. Don't be afraid to start again. Thought it would be great to start with 2024, and I've been telling everyone 2024 just feels really special to me. And let me say, 2023 was a year to show me a glimpse of what's possible, and 2024 is the year that I'm making it happen. So, although I accomplished almost 99% of my vision board for 2023, I realized I got away from the even if mindset because I got comfortable. If any of you have been following the Jasmine's Guide journey, you know in 2022, I had a revelation called Even If Make It Happen. And so it's this idea that we all have these moments that we talk ourselves out of because we're worried about all the ifs, this, then this, or what if this happens, or not having all of the answers. So by choosing that in 2022, I totally changed my lifestyle and was able to make some amazing things happen. And a year of cultivation, if you will, of 2023, God had a way of redirecting me to get me back on track. And I'm learning that if you're called to do something, you're equipped. And so that's the epitome of this podcast. You don't have to have all the details, just be obedient to the vision and try some things. And the people in your life matter too, for accountability, for motivation, and protections. And sometimes they're also just vessels to provide you with a missing link or solution. And one roadblock or flop doesn't constitute as a failure. I mentioned we're starting again. We tried some new things. We're in a new space, and we're revamping for this season. And also, directions aren't always the negative things we associate them to be. So many things can compete for your attention, distraction. It could be people, it could be organization, roles, all the ideas, even the media that we consume. And it's a hard task to find something to do, but it's also true that you're exposed to things at the right times. So, no matter the case, I'm learning to be obedient anyhow. This podcast is a direct example of that. I had this vision of all these goals and plans, yet it didn't necessarily work out as I expected it. From the people to the resources, down to the time, and then it just got to the point where it felt stagnant. However, being stagnant doesn't mean give up. This is where the even if comes back. I found myself taking time out to start again, rethink, redirect, and that's where the obedience came into. So you can't tell me that God won't redirect you and just to stay in your lane. My girl Sarah Jakes Roberts actually just preached about this not too long ago, and I encourage you to watch it on YouTube if you haven't seen it. But about 9 months ago, I actually acquired about the space that I'm currently in right now, but never followed through. I prioritized other things, scheduling a tour and learning more, and then I prioritize even more things instead of reaching out and coming back to connect. Then I happened to be doing content for another amazing business that led to a conversation to nudge me again and to actually follow through this time. Now, it did take some time for our schedules to align, but I firmly believe if it's meant to be, it'll happen. And so I wanted to encourage you to keep working at it, even if it includes starting something again. So, as much as I wanted to have a guest for this first episode back, and I'm completely out of my comfort zone talking to myself, um, we're talking about navigating transition and to not be afraid to start again. And I'm a direct example of that. I'll speak for myself, but I doubt I'm alone when I say it's very easy to pour our gifts into others and to lose sight or motivation to see our own goals through. And my inner circle knows that me and control go together real bad. So, not that I'm not open to the occasional get out of the comfort zone or go with the flow, but I live for a plan, direction, assurance, and a target. But we know life isn't always a recipe for consistency, and there's definitely no guarantees in that way. So much of my growth recently has been rooted in developing patience and staying empowered when it comes to navigating, finding myself in transition, but also staying in my lane while I'm on this journey of seeking purpose. And I'm definitely not claiming to have it all figured out, but I found a system that shifted my mindset and yielded some positive results. So I'm going to break down some of the tips that I would suggest if you find yourself in that position of thinking about how do I start again? So first, step one is to regroup. It's getting your body, your mind, your soul, which are your emotions, your spirit, so that connection to God, getting all three of those things in alignment. So that's where it starts, putting yourself in position for clarity and direction. And I heard this quote recently: get into agreement with God, then agreement with yourself, which will then allow you to stand in agreement with others. When all three are aligned, that's when acceleration happens. So whatever regrouping looks like for you, could be rest, it could be stillness, journaling, even a fast. It's opening up yourself for direction and recalibration. It's being intentional about listening out and catching the signs and discern what needs your focus at that current time. And it also requires some patience too, because the answers don't always come right away, and they're not always as loud as you think that they should be. So recently, I actually just did a 21-day Daniel's fast, and if you know, you know. So that was no sweets, no meats, no dairy, no alcohol, limited carbs, literally none of the good stuff. But I specifically did this fast because I really needed to get clarity and really needed some redirection. And so I chose this fast, but fasting looks different for everyone. And there's no right or wrong way to do it. And honestly, this was the longest fast I've ever done before, and it was definitely a sacrifice. And what I'm grateful for the most is that those revelations that came, and if I'm being honest, I didn't get all the answers that I hoped I would have, but it was still a success. The discipline, the cleanse, the spiritual reboot was needed. And it was a perfect way to mark the halfway point into my runway to 30. And you can check out Jasmine's Guide to Life Instagram if you want to learn more about what that means. But anywho, my fast was getting in agreement, getting in alignment, and where I needed to be for this moment of where I am in life. But it was also a faith deposit that, I'm built to sustain whatever that I go after, and I'm already equipped. So, step 2 is the plan. Write the vision and make it plain is something that many of us are familiar with. And it's also a connection to my last year's theme of, even if make it happen. And people go automatically to creating a plan before getting the direction. So that's that value of getting in alignment. There's context before writing, which makes it important for us to keep a watchful eye and be on guard for whatever direction we're facing. So don't miss out on that step of paying attention so you can be intentional about what you're writing and what you plan to make plain. A part of planning, staying alert for that confirmation and direction, and I swear by journaling. So yes, I'm a vision board girly, but journaling is how I take the small bites out of the elephant. So it's a checkpoint for my own accountability and reflection, and putting it on paper or writing it out electronically is a declaration and commitment to the work and towards making it happen. And it's also a visual reminder of what you committed to. And lastly, step 3, and it's the work while you wait. That's actually getting that plan into action. So we're all constantly being prepared for what we ask for, whether we realize it or not. It's putting the work in, even if it may not seem like it's adding up or making sense, which is one of the hardest things to do. Earlier, I mentioned how I'm a control girly, but even if is a shift or a direction that has to happen. And it's more likely than not preparing you for that very thing that you ask for or that you desire. So the caveat to that is you don't know if something is a success until you actually see the result. So keep working anyway. That's why I'm choosing not to delete for this rebrand of Jasmine's Guide. I'm developing what I already had to reach its full potential. But I also want people to be able to see the growth and know that it's all about progress and not perfection. It's a testament to the theme of this episode to not be afraid to start again. And whether it's my book, social media, or even this podcast, I had to live some life and have some new experiences in order to have content to share. Those are the same situations that I thought were deviations from the plan, but actually turned into what I'm sharing in this season. So keep working, stay in your lane, watch it all work out the way it was intended to. So before I close out, I want to talk a little bit about what Jasmine's Guide actually is and what my vision is for 2024. Jasmine's Guide to Life is a vehicle of inspiration to those who've always felt a little different, a community, a collection of content, a vehicle for experiences, a creative catalyst for change where it's all about lifestyle, a space for those who've wondered where and or how they fit in but stood their ground anyway, the visionaries who had a vision that scared them but just couldn't let go of it, the creatives who have a mind like no other, those with a heart of service and a hunger for change and impact, the seekers of joy, purpose, happiness, just looking to find their way, and a place to cultivate spaces to empower and inspire people on their personal journeys to seeking purpose. This is our journey. This is our space, a true lifestyle, our guide to life. As I close out what I call episode 1 of season 2, it's time to share my word of the year. I always end this podcast with the word of the year, and if you've been listening and following, then you know that last year my word was wholeness. And in hindsight, I really lived that thing out. And I can honestly say I showed up in my authentic, whole self in every space that I entered. Even if it was uncomfortable, even when I had to push myself, I did it and I showed up whole. And I'm really proud of myself for that. I tapped into a new level of light and I'm so much better for it. And with that being said, this year's word is peace. Peace within all things. It's a non-negotiable. If it doesn't bring peace, there's no room for it. From peace, good things flow. So I'm in a season of expecting big, expecting impossible. The goals and vision that I had for 2024 are bigger than I've ever allowed myself to dream in a while, and I'm excited about that. And I know with big dreams and big goals come big challenges and attacks. So a posture of peace is required. Peace in my work, peace in my home, peace in my relationships, peace in my mind, peace in my heart, peace literally in all things. One of my favorite gospel songs is by Jonathan McReynolds, I'm Excited. And I'm a living reminder of that expectation. I'm excited for what's to come. I'm bringing peace with me. And that's just the energy that I'm on right now. I'm hopeful, I'm excited, but most importantly, at peace with what's to come. I'm constantly learning how to release what looks right, trying to trust the journey, and always continuing the journey of seeking purpose.